Hello and welcome back to NFSC Live here at CPAC 2023. We're the new federal state of China. I'm your host, Roy, and our single mission is to take down the Chinese Communist Party. Here with me is Mr. Isaac Smith. Isaac, welcome.
Welcome. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Isaac, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Isaac Smith. I work primarily as an EMT and emergency medical technician, drive an ambulance for a living. I used to work in DC. I don't currently work in DC anymore. That became a little more than I think anybody wants to handle. But in doing that, I've certainly had a very, very firsthand experience with drugs, fentanyl, mental health, the breakdown of law and order in this country. Dealt with all that personally. And when I'm not doing that, I am involved in the local politics. I help out candidates, antagonize my mayor, and I also work in media. So I do the elections analyst for Sky News Arabia.
Very good, thank you. You mentioned that you have personal experience firsthand with victims of fentanyl. Would you mind talking more about that, and where do you think the fentanyl is coming from, and who's behind it?
Yeah. Well, it's a matter of public record that fentanyl, which, by the way, you need to have an advanced lab to make a fentanyl. Fentanyl is not cocaine. It is not marijuana. It is a complicated thing to make. It is a matter of public record that is being manufactured in mainland China. It is then being shipped to Latin America, where it is then smuggled across the border and distributed locally within the United States. One of the things to keep in mind is that very few people are actively seeking out fentanyl. The majority of our drug users are looking for more conventional drugs like cocaine, like heroin, even marijuana, and fentanyl is just being sprinkled in everything. So, there's people, they go light up a joint, and next thing you know, they're on the ground. And this has killed over 500 people in Washington, D.C. in the past year alone. And that's in D.C. specifically. We don't even have the worst problem in this country. It's killing tens of thousands of people nationally. The drug is so strong that there are cases of police officers and paramedics who have overdosed on it simply by taking their gloves off incorrectly, that the act of brushing the glove that touched the fentanyl with their bare hand is enough to cause an overdose. And while this can be treated with Narcan has been a wonder drug, saved countless lives here in the United States. Narcan has a limit to its effectiveness. And as fentanyl becomes more prevalent, as stronger and stronger opiates are being made available, there's a new drug that has hit the streets of Philadelphia. It's called Tranq. And it's a mixture of a particular horse tranquilizer and heroin. And in addition to causing the symptoms of heroin, you're right, that kind of lazy, they're sort of drooling, stumbling around. One of the major side effects is necrosis, the rotting of the limbs. And so people are stumbling around Philadelphia. Their flesh is rotting off their bodies. The hospitals in Philadelphia have been amputating hundreds of limbs to deal with this. Because it uses the tranquilizer, it cannot be treated with Narcan. So if you overdose, there's really no, we can give you oxygen, we can give you CPR, we can give you fluids, but there's no antidote to the drug itself. So that's a new drug that's hit the United States, likely of similar origin. That's where most of this is coming from. My suspicion is that this is essentially it's a grand act of espionage, that you create addicts, you undermine the health of the public, you burden the healthcare system, you burden our national infrastructure, and by doing that, you weaken the United States. The fact is that our people are being poisoned. Tens of thousands of people are dying from this every year, and the border's wide open, and China has yet to face any sanctions for this. There has been no no pressure that's been put on them by the federal government over this, and it's unacceptable because whether they are trying to hurt us or simply don't care doesn't really matter. The fact is this is coming out of mainland China, and this is causing immeasurable harm to U.S. citizens.
Very well said. And as you mentioned, the CCP is very insidious and very evil in how they infiltrate this country, from using fentanyl to poison tens of thousands of Americans here and create weakness. As a matter of fact, Mr. Miles Guo, our founder, he told the world about the 3F plan of the CCP. That is to ferment or to cause weakness, chaos, and destruction.